cannot afford to buy Hong Kong's apartments, you can buy.
Yeah, you can live on that car. Yeah, live on that.
We actually do have places where people don't live in houses and they live in those RVs or trailer parks. We call them trailer parks. It's just an area where it's all these RVs and trailers, and then people live there. So
how's the water, like the electricity? Do they actually come with the car?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't have one. I'm actually not sure, but I'm sure they have something worked out. Maybe they plug something in or something.
And it just occurred to me that in the film 2012, did you see that film?
Yes.
And that perfect. Just live in the RV.
Yeah. The crazy guy on the hill, right? Yeah.
Talk about movie. What kind of movie did you usually watch in the US?
Movies. We enjoy the movies at US, like all the big blockbusters, a lot of American films. We did, like recently, there's a lot of those animated films, like Shrek and Toy Story. So that was huge. I love those movies. We've had
Twilight,
I actually don't like that very much.
You like it? Why? You're scared of vampires?
Oh, no. I just think it's a poorly written film. But we're big on blockbusters, animated films, romantic comedies, and things like that. We don't, like in the mainstream, we don't watch quite as many like foreign films. Like a lot of maybe like Chinese films, it doesn't really get shown in the theater. We have a couple, like maybe in like Chinatown, you have like theaters and stuff like that. Maybe that is the only place, or you watch it online. But it wouldn't really be shown on the TV films.
But have you ever watched any Chinese movie in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Local movies. So what do you think of them? Like take Twilight as an example. You have seen it. It's like it's similar to the storyline in Hong Kong movies. It's also talking the same stuff again and again. You never die, and I will follow you whenever you go. This kind of stuff.
Hong Kong cinema. I actually think it's been going downhill the last 10 years. Like when I was younger, because my parents, they're Chinese, so they rented a lot of films and stuff from like the early 90s and stuff, and that was when it was a golden era of Hong Kong cinema. Recently, I just feel like in the last 10 years or so, a lot of the films that come out, maybe once in a while, you have a good one, like films like Infernal Affairs and things like that. That was a pretty good film.
You have seen that before? Yeah,
like films like that. Once in a while you come out with a good one, but I would say 90% of the stuff that comes out from Hong Kong is crap because
I agree.
A lot of films that you watch has no plot. It doesn't go anywhere, and then like what you said, there's films where people they never die. And
it's the same. Many of the storylines are the same.
There's no creativity.
I don't like those kind of stuff.
There's no creativity. And then
there's no new idea about
no. And I feel like a lot of the films that is made, it's like remakes of foreign films, and it's like just watching the same film but with a Chinese cast. And then not to mention like the actors and actresses. I feel like entertainment-wise, like in film and music in Hong Kong, it's based on looks as opposed to talent. Particularly with singers and actors and actresses. And if you're a singer, then you're also an actor. If you're an actor, you're also a singer. It's just.
But in the US, it's not like that, right? You never seen like you do see some of them like Jennifer Lopez or Beyonce. They will sometimes.
And it's never quite successful. As it is here. Like you never see Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie singing. And those who have done it, like Jennifer Lopez, maybe she was successful when she first started, but now people do not care about her singing whatsoever. And Beyonce, like the couple of films that she has been in, has been panned by the critics. So I feel like if you're gonna be talented in one thing, you should stick to that thing instead of trying everything, because it just kind of.
Only focus on one thing and do it for that.
Yes, exactly.
Which star do you like?
Actor or singer?
They all do both.
Oh, okay. That's true. Singing wise, I'm a huge fan of Faye Wong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of hers. But in terms of someone who's more active now, I love Joey Young. Yeah, I think she's one of the few people who can actually sing.
Sing, yes.
Okay? Acting wise, I like Tony Young.
Oh, yeah. So you must have seen one of his films called, you remember the name?
In the mood of
For Love?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I've
have
seen
seen
that
that one, yeah.
That film was actually quite popular in the US too.
Yes.
Wong Kar-wai's film.
Fong Kar-wai has a huge following actually in the US and in Hollywood. A lot of Hollywood stars actually would love to work with him.
He always wear a pair of dark glasses.
Oh yeah, he is symbolized by wearing it.
Actually, he is a student of Han Jiamin, and actually Han Jiamin is our teacher, lecturer, professor.
Here?
Yeah.
That's it you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
In recent media, Han Jiamin, you should know him.
Oh yeah. Okay, so whenever you go to movies, you will have food to eat. So let's ask you about this food stuff in the US.
Okay.
I know people like to stereotype Americans love to eat burgers. Like even President Obama brings his guests to a hamburger store. So do you have hamburgers all the time?
No, that is such a stereotype that that Americans, we only eat hot dogs, hamburgers, and like pizza, fried chicken. I mean, we do have all those things, but we also have other foods too, because the U.S. is such a melting pot with so many different types of people from all different types, all different parts of the world. We have many varieties of food, and because they're actually made by people who are from those places, it's actually pretty authentic. For example, like one of my favorite foods is a Vietnamese noodle, which we call pho.
Yeah.
It's so cheap back in the U.S. For like 20, 30 Hong Kong dollars, you get like a really big bowl, and it's real, authentic Vietnamese noodle. Whereas when I came to Hong Kong and I want a Vietnamese noodle, the stuff they make here is very, very subpar. It's just not good. It's not real, and it just doesn't taste good.
Is it the one that you have to add like vinegar and you can eat it cold?
Oh,
you have two ways.
You're talking about vermicelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. That here tastes almost the same because vermicelli is the sauce in the noodles.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the beef noodle soup.
Oh yeah, I get it. I got what you mean.
Have you ever had it in like Canada or Vietnam or like US? It tastes like the real thing because it's actually made by Vietnamese immigrants.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I feel like they skim on the ingredients.
Yeah.
They don't get the quality ingredients. It's just no good.
Yeah.
But we don't have just fattening foods. We have we also like eating salad. Americans are huge on salads and fruits and vegetables, and we have every type of food you can think of. Every type of food.
So you have many choices.
Oh, we have many choices. It's like, I mean, Hong Kong, I feel like you have many choices too, but besides Chinese food, I feel like all the other types of food, like American food and things like that, are just too expensive here and just not quite as good. Like, for example, Pizza Hut. I mean, that's a really good example.
It doesn't deserve to be that high price.
No. Pizza Hut in the U.S. is considered like cheap dining. Like, you can get a pizza for like a large pizza for like 30 Hong Kong dollars that could feed like 4 people. Whereas here, you pay like $100-something for a pizza like half the size.
I don't know why.
And you guys eat it with a fork and a knife.
You should eat it with a hand, right?
Yeah, it's here. It's like considered dining, fine dining. For us, it's like cheap food, and we only eat it delivered to your house. You wouldn't really eat it at like a Pizza Hut restaurant.
Oh, okay.
What's more, you always have to wait outside the restaurant and clean up for the pizza.
You would never have to do that back home. Ever.
Oh yeah. And how about the toppings there? This is the same in Hong Kong. Like you got a lot of varieties. You got olives or the most simple one. Because
we have many things. Actually, some of the stuff that people put on pizza here, you're kind of like, whoa, I've never seen that before. Like, people put corn and
Americans would feel like, ew,
they'll think it's weird. But I wouldn't think, we're not used to having that kind of stuff. Like, for us, the most like popular would be like pepperoni. Pepperoni pizza. We even have things like anchovies, which is a type of small fish. But that's a very, only a small amount of people actually like that kind of stuff. But we're more into like meats and vegetables on our pizzas.
Thank God we just have our lunch or we'll get hungry.